Hi, friend.
Hello, friend.
And hello, friends listening. This is the Lost Girls podcast. I'm your host, Neva.
And I am your other host, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Hello, Neva. Okay, so
So,
today we're talking about tarot.
today we're talking about tarot. Yes.
Yes. And our favorite decks.
Yep.
And I think originally we were going to do tarot and oracle, and we decided we have too many decks and we have too many things to say about it. So we're just going to do tarot decks in this episode.
Yes. So many things to say.
Yeah. Um,
Um, so, first, let's talk about the difference between tarot and oracle decks.
yes, great
Um,
idea. Neva is an
yes.
expert here.
I've explained this dozens of times because I have created an Oracle deck, and most people do not understand the difference. They know they know what tarot is because it's everywhere in, movies and that sort of stuff, but they don't really usually know what Oracle decks are. So, here is the difference between tarot and Oracle decks, and I'm gesturing with my hands.
Which, if
Okay.
you're watching the video, is very entertaining.
Yes, we have entertaining faces.
Yes.
Okay. So tarot and oracle decks are similar in that they are a collection of cards with illustrations that have specific meanings. A tarot deck is an organized system of 78 cards. It always follows the same pattern of major arcana and minor arcana. And even though the illustrations will change from deck to deck to deck, depending on what the artist wanted to highlight, ultimately the meanings stay the same. The difference with an oracle deck is there's kind of no rules. There can be any number of cards. It can be any theme that you want it to be. And you can just kind of do whatever you want. So they are similar, but they are also different. Is that a
I,
good explanation?
I think that's a fantastic explanation. Yeah. I mean, I think most people know tarot cards,
Yeah.
but I think they group tarot, oracle, just all kind of under the umbrella of tarot cards.
Yeah.
When it's like there's differences, like tarot follows that, structure
Yeah.
of the major arcana and the specific suits. And sometimes the suits are called different things for different decks, but the cards do tend to mean the same thing
Yeah.
between
A-
decks.
And I
Um,
have seen decks that will add an extra card or two or
yeah,
have multiple lovers cards to be like inclusive or
right.
whatever.
Yeah, I do love that.
Yeah.
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 Um, but yeah, I love both tarot and oracle cards, as
Yeah.
is evidenced by how many I own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's like books and or anything else that you just buy and you're like, "Ooh, that's pretty. I need to buy that too." Shit. Um, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It could be drugs, and it's not. So,
It could be whatever. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't think
I
of
I started the sentence and had nothing to finish it with.
I love that. Oh man. I said that my husband and I went on a date night last night and I bought another plant. I'm like, as I'm loading this very large palm plant into the car and it's pouring rain, and he's like, "Did you really need another plant?" And I'm like, "Hey, it could be drugs. It could be drugs, but it's not. It's plants, it's books, and it's tarot decks."
Love that. Love that.
So,
How do
anyway.
you decide you want to buy a specific deck?
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay. Well, if an artist or a very special friend of mine creates a deck, like per se my co-host, then I 100% am going to buy it because I want to support that artist, that person,
Yeah.
um, because I love them dearly and support all of their endeavors. But that's one deciding factor. If I know the person or I like the artist of the deck. Otherwise, I just kind of buy them intuitively.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a bookstore or at a fair or if I'm browsing online and I just feel that like pull of, oh, that does something all up in my business, um, which apparently is how you describe intuition. Um, I've got butterflies all up in my business. Um, then I'm like, oh, maybe I should buy that. My
Yeah.
problem is I have too many butterflies about too many decks. Um, so I have to be like, no, I can't. And there have definitely been instances where I've purchased decks and then been like, oh, I don't actually connect to this. Like once I get it out of the packaging and
Yep.
play, and I'm like, no, this isn't for me. Um, and then I will either gift those to friends who I think might appreciate them, with the caveat that like I bought this, I didn't connect with it. It's a gift for you. See if you connect with it. If you don't, pass it on to someone else until it finds where it's supposed to be. Um, and so I've done that with a couple decks, and I've had friends do that for me too. That's how my husband got his first tarot deck. Was a friend of ours gave him one and was like, I don't know, just I don't connect with it and made me think of you. And he
Aw.
loves it. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know. How do you decide which ones to purchase?
Um, so I really like indie decks.
Mhm.
So I've backed like a dozen Kickstarters.
Yes, absolutely. On Kickstarter, there's always have the best decks.
And the problem is like I stayed off Kickstarter for a solid, 10 months because it's so dangerous for me. But since I've been working on my Kickstarter, then it's like, here's something you might like. I'm like, oh, I do like that.
It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. Because I'm like, oh no, I want to support this person and I want to back them and look how beautiful this deck is. And if I don't back them, what if it doesn't get made? And it should really get made.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, uh, I backed two in the last month and only one reached its fundraising goal. But the other one, I think they're going to try again because it's a cool ass deck.
That's
Like,
awesome.
yeah, and the creator seems really cool. Um, and so this is a personal preference. I don't buy decks made with AI,
Oh, same.
um, which
That
is
is,
a whole thing now.
we could have a whole episode on that. Come
Yep.
back later for that
Yeah.
episode. But yeah, no AI. This is a no AI zone.
Yeah. So we'll table that discussion for later. I just
Yeah.
felt like putting that little note in there.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, Kickstarters, indie decks, and then I follow people on social media who read tarot and they will share decks and I'll be like, "Oh, that's gorgeous."
Hmm.
Like sometimes for me it's like the art does something for me and I'm like, "I need that one."
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
and sometimes they're just for fun. Like one I'm going to share today was literally just for fun.
Yeah. I think it's important. And I don't know if you do this, but do you buy or like use decks for specific readings? Like, do you have a
Yes.
deck like that you read just for yourself or read for other people or ones that are just for fun?
Yeah. So I do Akashic readings with tarot, and I have a deck, and that is all I use it for. Like that was the express purpose for which it was purchased, and that is all I read with it. Which I haven't done one of those in a while. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I also haven't advertised it in a while, so but yeah, I only use that for that. There's of the decks I have, there's only about three or four that I will use for other people, and the rest are kind of just for myself. because mostly it's like I bought the deck because I wanted to support the creator and because when I read it's kind of a combination of intuitive and the actual meaning. And I have a few decks that um they're not intuitively read all that easily.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm like, I'll just use the guidebook because it's easier,
Yeah.
which is fine because that's what the guidebook is for,
Right.
in my opinion. Um,
Absolutely.
but if I'm reading for other people, I need to like, be able to do it.
Yeah. It's difficult. Um, I've read at events where it's just like one right after another.
Yeah.
And it's one just physically exhausting because you're talking for like, I did a witchy market fair
Yeah.
and I read for like 3.5 hours. And by the time I got home, I was like high on people energy and
Yep.
like needed to take a shower immediately to like wash off all of the people juice, which sounds so gross,
No,
but
I
it's
know
like
what you mean.
but it's like spiritual people juice.
Yeah.
Um and it was just I slept for like most of the next day. It was
Yeah.
just it's so spiritually, emotionally, and physically exhausting to
Yeah.
marathon read like that. Um
Yeah.
and it's
Sorry,
like,
I got like a
you got shkivats.
okay.
That's what we call it in Italian. When you have like stuff, just like indescript stuff, it's
Yeah.
shkivats.
Okay, it's gone now. I hope we picked a great one to make
A free
available.
video. Everybody watch us cough and blow our noses, please.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyway,
Anyway.
let's get down to deck business.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. Do you want to go like one after the other?
Sure. Okay. Do you want to
Okay.
go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just go with this one first because it's on the top. This deck, I believe, started as an indie deck and then it was picked up by Hay House. So like that's a thing that can happen.
Hmm.
Like a creator will publish their own deck on their own, and then some big publisher will be like, "Hey, I like that. I want to whatever."
Hmm.
But it's called Fifth Spirit Tarot.
Ooh, it's so pretty. I love the very queer representation on the
It
cover.
Yes. So that is the whole like thing with this deck is um like representation. Oh, I'll just read the back. Tarot beyond binaries. The tarot thrives in liminality,
That is
limin
hard to say.
liminality and nuance. Uh, this deck expands notions of gender through the juxtaposition of traditional titles and queered imagery. So, let me see if I can find the Emperor card because um it's kind of like the best example. Also, this deck is just it's just perfect. Like, yeah, the imagery is just so perfect for what each card. Okay, so like there's Justice.
Ooh. Ooh, I love her.
Yeah. So I bought this deck um at a small little store. Oh, look at the tower.
Burn it all down. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. Oh, that gave me goosebumps.
Okay. So the sun has some trans people sitting at the park.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Trans people in the park, we love you.
Um, anyway, okay. I was in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and I was there for like a metaphysical show. And here's the Emperor. Anyway, I was like, I want to buy a deck to like remember this trip because I went with my sister and we just had like a lot of fun. And Eureka Springs, Arkansas is awesome,
That's
and I
super
want to go
cool.
back. So I bought this deck, and so there's the Emperor,
Oh, he's magical.
right?
Oh, I love that.
Yes. And I follow the creator on Instagram, and they are fantastic. And Yeah, this is one of my favorite decks, both to read for myself and to read for other people, because I love the queer representation.
Hmm.
Um,
It
so
should be
yeah,
noted that both Neva and I are queer, uh, representative people.
right. Yes. Yes. Uh,
We like it.
yes. Oh, inside the box. This is actually perfect. A queer and inclusive deck for a world beyond binaries
Yay.
is what it says.
I
So,
like that.
yeah, Fifth Spirit Tarot, my favorite, one of my favorite decks for
Yeah.
sure. Uh,
And is actually, because I just checked, available to purchase online because publishers have picked it up.
yep.
Yeah, which is
Yep.
awesome. Really,
I
really great.
I'm pretty sure it started as an indie deck and then it was picked up by Hay House. So,
Okay. Um,
yep.
I will link all of the decks we cover today
Oh
in
yes,
the
I
show
love that.
notes so
Love
that
that.
people can find them if they want and we can support our favorite people.
Yeah, I think the ones I'm sharing, I think are all available online.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, cool. So I guess I'll share my next one or my
Yes.
first one.
Yes.
So this is what's the Oak, Ash, and Thorn deck from Three Trees Tarot. Um, and it started as a Kickstarter.
I think I have a book by Three Trees Tarot.
Yes, they are amazing. So this
Okay.
is this is the tower because that was like,
Ooh.
yeah, just
Oh,
love it.
yes. I
Um,
love it when tower cards are something other than a tower, but still like
yes,
have that,
destructive.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just, and there's a lot of, so this is like what strength, is like there's a lot of animals and the illustration style is
Look at
very
the badger.
love badgers, which is part of our Patreon
Yes.
subscription tiers, by the
Tears.
way, because we love badgers. And Neva's a hella Hufflepuff. Um,
Yep.
yeah. But like I just and the High Priestess, she's like one of my faves,
Mm.
owl. Um, but
Is that
the
an owl or a hawk?
oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe a hawk. I'd have to look at the notes.
I don't know.
Yeah. But um it started as a Kickstarter and then developed to her selling them on her website. And she has since made two different decks. One that's like a deck of all dragons, a tarot deck of
Ooh.
like different suits of dragons, which is amazing and just so beautiful. Um, and another one called Thistledown, which is adorable because it's like all baby forest animals. And it's the cutest, most amazing tarot deck. Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
I like pre-ordered that one.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be getting it soon. But the artist, she's wonderful and responsive and um, her Instagram, she's from the UK. So it's from the UK. But anytime you order one of her decks, she sends these like stickers and postcards of artwork from the deck too.
That's
Um,
awesome.
that's just really like beautiful. And what I really like was she includes these like little cards that are like
Oh,
they're just like the same size as
yeah.
they're like quick and dirty.
That one's upside down.
Yeah, quick and dirty descriptions of
Yeah.
each.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like if you're new to reading or reading for
Yeah.
someone else or yourself, it's great to have a just like a little reference, like a quick without flipping through a guidebook.
Yeah.
Of like, oh
How,
right, that's what that card means.
how do you feel about cards that have keywords on them? I guess for you personally.
Oh, okay. For me, if I'm just reading for me, I don't need them.
Yeah.
I think it's fine if they're there, but
Yeah.
I also like if I'm reading for myself, I just want to like intuitively
Yeah.
read.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily like I won't read for myself from a deck with keywords. But
Right.
I one of my favorite decks to read for, which I don't have here, to read for other people has keywords on it
Mm-hmm.
and like planet and zodiac associations with that card. Because as I'm like laying out a spread, people can kind of start
Yeah.
to make their own assumptions. And then I let them take pictures of the spreads so that they can go back and look later and be like, what
Yeah.
did that? reading mean, and they
Yeah.
can at least have some kind of reference for that.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when I first started reading, I liked the keywords, and now that I've been reading for a while, when I'm reading for myself, I don't like them
Yeah.
because I feel like it gets in the way of, yeah, my intuitiveness.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephanie Burrows. That's her name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was like, I couldn't remember. But yeah, great deck.
Okay.
So get okay, what's your second one?
Okay. So, the second deck, I only bought it for fun. And when Maria sees this, she's going to crack up.
I can't wait. Accurate. I am laughing very loud, and I'm sure my microphone cut it off.
Okay. So I love the book and the show Good Omens. Neil Gaiman is a fantastic human um author I can get behind, unlike other authors that shall not be named.
Especially male authors, but also
Also female authors.
who are
Um,
turfs.
yes. So, this is the Good Omens Tarot deck and guidebook. Um, and I'll just sort of pull it out here. So first of all, check out the back of the card.
Oh, fancy.
If
Look at
if
their wings.
and then like the little middle thing in like the movie, um Aziraphale has a mark on the floor of his bookshop that he keeps covered with a rug unless he needs to like communicate with heaven, and then it's like a portal to heaven.
That's awesome.
It's a whole thing. Um, but every card is like an image from it is heavy on the movie or on the TV show. So, and then instead of okay, so this is an example of a deck that instead of cups, wands, swords, pentacles, uses different um
Oh, like different words and imagery.
yeah, so the angels are wands, vessels are cups, demons are swords, and humans are pentacles.
Oh, I love that.
So,
Makes
so
a lot of
this,
sense.
yeah, so this is the four of demons and the three of angels and the six of humans and all of the major arcana are amazing. I don't, so because I am a fan of the book and the show, there are a few cards where I'm like, I don't know if that was the best artistic choice, but like I'll be okay with it, you know?
Hmm.
Um, Instead of the lovers, we have the duo.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So I quite like it. There's scenes from both season one and season two. Um, so yeah, this was just a deck I bought because I'm a fan of Good Omens and it's fun. And so and it should be fun, I
Yeah.
think, you know. So yeah, that one, there's different I got mine on Amazon, which Amazon is what it is. We all know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but there were I think there was other places that you could get it, but
I think so
so
too.
yeah, that's my deck for fun, Good Omens.
Yay, I like it and
Yeah.
is extremely fitting for you.
I when I saw that it existed, I was just like, will someone buy this for me? And no one bought it for me, so I was like, okay, I have to buy it for myself. Like
Yes.
that's the only logical answer. Because I was
Hmm.
like, here's something you can buy me for Christmas. And then Christmas came and went, and no one got it for me. I was like, I will buy it for myself.
Thanks, everybody, for nothing.
You don't love me.
Nobody loves me.
Okay,
Ah.
what's
Okay.
your next deck?
So my next deck is called the Somnia Tarot. It is actually it's another indie deck by a guy from New York called Nicholas Bruno. So that's just the Somnia Tarot. That's
Oh,
like the little
interesting.
guidebook. But what
Yeah.
I love about this deck is he's a photographer and he did photo shoots based on each of the cards. So
Mm.
each of the cards is a photo that represents, so that's like the Two of Cups.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's and it's just like so visually stunning.
So did he
Um
like take different photos and then use
and
Photoshop
then
to sort?
composite. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. And then that's, Ace of Wands.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and just some of them are just so unbelievably drooling. That's sexy. Um, just like so visceral when you see
Yeah.
them that way. So this is King of Cups, which is like, these people are like in
Ooh,
shrouds and on thrones and like very eerie locations.
that is super cool.
Yeah. Like you can't see anyone's faces. Oh, I love this. The magician. The magician's crazy.
Oh, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Clearly invested heavily in a fog machine for the photo shoots. But yeah. Um, but I just love the imagery, and as a photography person,
Mm-hmm.
like just the idea of like the amount of work that
Yes.
went into just each of these cards. It's
Mm-hmm.
so much work.
Yep.
And each card is so individual and I feel like so wonderfully representative of the card's meaning because it's a tarot deck. It's not like it would have been so easy to do an oracle deck and not do 78 styled shoots.
Yeah.
Um, and it would have been, probably a lot easier. So like the Queen of Swords, she's
Oh,
badass.
that's fantastic.
Yeah. Um, but I love how grounded in reality it is, and it just really makes the scenes and the cards feel more alive to me because it's actual
Yeah.
photography and not,
Right.
I love illustrations all day. Um, and have absolutely bought decks just based on the art and the illustration.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw this and saw that it was photography, I was like, oh my God, like it's so visually stunning and it's such a grounded medium. And I was like, I
Yeah.
have to have it. So I do this one I only read for myself with it.
Mm-hmm.
It has a real like salty, grounded energy for me. um, which I like a lot. Like there's the world card.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So they're just great. Um, and there are like elements of the traditional Rider-Waite tarot
Mm-hmm.
in each of the cards. I'm like, that must have been so difficult to
Mm-hmm.
organize and shoot. So yeah, that's my other deck. And it's awesome and I love it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Decks are tough. I mean, to make them, now that I have made one,
right?
like I have so much more appreciation for all the decks that I own
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
because I know how much work it took to make mine, and I just know that like holy crap. All right,
Right.
I have one more to share.
Yay.
And so this deck came in a tuck box. It didn't come in like a hard box, you know?
Mhm.
And so I actually had an internet friend create a box. They're
Yay.
a pyrographer. And the chariot is one of my favorite cards. And so I was like, I want a box to hold my tarot deck, and I want the image of the chariot on it. And they did a fantastic job. Love them. And then this is a little thing that I made myself. So just gotta unwrap this guy. This is the Modern Hue tarot deck. It follows the traditional Rider-Waite style, but it's in like watercolor.
Ooh, that's so
Yeah.
pretty.
And so like King of Swords.
Oh, I love that.
So like all the imagery is, what you would recognize from the traditional Rider-Waite, but it just kind of
In
like
a modern hue.
in a modern hue. Yes. Um, This is one of my favorite decks to read for other people, actually, because I like that it is that traditional Rider-Waite Smith that people recognize.
Hmm.
Um, but it gives it kind of a modern twist. It's very watercolor-ish.
Nice.
Yep.
I like
Do
it.
you do you have one more deck to share?
I do. So actually, the deck that I'm sharing is one that we pulled from last week. So it's the Pasta Tarot,
Hmm.
because it's my fun deck for today. So
I
it's
love
the
that.
yeah, with the gingham like background. Oh, I just
Yes.
love it. And this is a deck that does not have the traditional
Hmm.
swords cups. It has different cuts of pasta. So the decks are awesome and also very queer represented, which I love. This is the 10 of Corta, and it says gnocchi on it with a very muscly rainbow man who's dropping sacks of gnocchi everywhere. Um,
Oh my gosh, I love that.
yeah, which is just perfection. So Corta, which is short pasta, is wands. Di Peña, which is stuffed pasta, is cups. Lunga, which is long pasta, is swords, and minuta, which is tiny pasta, is pentacles. Um, and so within each suit, so if you were to pull longa, which is swords, each like the four of swords is a specific type of long pasta. So it's like,
Hmm.
uh, spaghetti or linguine or fettuccine or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, Bucatini, which is my personal favorite because they have holes in them like a straw. Um,
Oh
and I
my
will stop
gosh.
talking because I could talk about pasta forever because I can't. Um, but I love it. I have done a couple readings for friends. It is a very, by all accounts, like friendly deck.
Yeah.
The quality of the deck is like amazing and just super strong textured cards, which I really it handles well and I like holding it.
Hmm.
Um, so what I love is the Emperor straight up looks like the Godfather, but he's holding a cannoli.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, like it's so great. Um, and it's a very fun deck. And I read from my friends and myself, and it's just like very entertaining to see what kind of pasta we get. So
I love that. That's
yeah,
fun.
that's my last deck.
Well, I'll do a card pull, and then
Okay.
this might be a two-parter episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about our birth cards and everything
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in another
I'll
one.
do a card pull, and we'll wrap up. Oh, one just.
Flew out.
Oh, fun. I love this. We got the Fool card.
Oh, I know everyone
So,
must be like, wait, why are you so excited about this damn fool? It's like, no, guys.
so the Fool is actually in the Major Arcana. It is a 0. They don't st let's see, what's one magician?
Yeah, the magician is one.
Right. The Fool is like starting a journey and not really knowing what you're doing and just like
Yeah,
taking that first step into the unknown. So I love
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. I love it's very carefree,
Mm-hmm.
slightly naive energy,
Mm-hmm.
but I do love
Yeah.
that it's like you're at the start of your journey.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Maria, what's bringing you joy this week?
Oh man. Okay. What's bringing me joy this week? Oh my God. I should really have thought about this, like have an answer. But okay, you know what's bringing me joy this week? This sounds crazy. Crying? I know, sounds counterintuitive. Um, but like when you go too long without crying?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Um, but yeah, and I like finally like broke down a couple days ago and had like a really good cry, and I was like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I felt a lot better. So crying is bringing me joy this week.
I love that. Um, I have a weird one.
Okay.
Claritin is bringing me joy this week
Hell yeah. Shout
because
out to Clarendon.
because it was March 1st and all of a sudden my nose was like, it's time to sneeze. And I'm like, no, why?
Yep. Same. Same. Zyrtec, Claritin, Benadryl, nasal spray. Bring it on. It's coming.
So, yay spring and yay allergy medicine.
Yeah, I know. Oh, those are, yeah, definitely both things. We have
Yeah.
weird ones this week. Those are weird. Crying and allergen meds bringing us joy.
Whatever it takes, man. Like,
Yeah, we're just trying to get through the day.
well, that is our first part of our tarot episode. There might be a part two,
Yeah,
maybe,
we'll talk
possibly.
about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about. Follow us on the social medias,
Yeah.
and if you like our voices, subscribe to our Patreon.
Yay. Yes, this
And
episode will be made available for everybody
yeah,
because we were showing decks. And so it seems like, which, don't get me wrong, I feel like we've done a great job describing them. But if you'd like to actually see the decks, you can click the links in the show notes or actually watch the video too.
yep.
So
So yeah, if you subscribe to our Patreon, you can see our lovely faces as well as hear our dulcet tones.
nice. Yeah, thanks everybody for listening and tune in for maybe another tarot episode. Maybe we'll jump right to oracles. Who knows?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Leave us the stars and reviews.
Yes, please.
Yep.
And
Yep.
thanks for listening.
Bye.